Hi. Okay, so I love the idea of being a YouTuber, but is it worth it? Like everybody's out here doing YouTube now, so is it something that I should do? Hey, what's up? So I want to talk about creating a YouTube channel. I want to talk about this is going to be my first official video based on me deciding to become an official YouTuber. And I'm saying that because I do have YouTube videos that have been on YouTube for probably about a decade. Not a lot. I spent a small stint doing hair videos. I don't think my intention was to be a YouTuber. My intention was to do my hair and share my information because I've always been the type of person that if I am good at something or successful at something or I'm learning something, I always want to do it with people and I always want to share what I have, what I know. And so YouTube seemed like a really great platform to kind of store your content. So, with that being said, I think I have released one hair video that had like 10,000 views, which probably don't feel like a lot to big YouTubers, but for somebody who only had 98 followers, that was a pretty big deal. So, I still didn't think I wanted to be a YouTuber. I definitely didn't think I wanted to do hair videos as much as I love doing hair, as much as I love the process and the concept, but I didn't really see my journey in hair being the one thing I wanted to focus on. Anyway, I went on to do a whole bunch of other things in that time frame and have kind of circled back around. So let's talk about what is the big deal with YouTube these days. And I think everybody has their own journey. Let's talk about my journey and let's see if your journey resonates with my journey and if we can become YouTube friends. How about that? So I am definitely reading notes as this is like my first video. And I am definitely not going to try to be perfect, but I am going to try to be a little interesting because that's how I am in real life. So let's just see how this goes. The first thing I want to say is obviously we're doing this formatting where I'm just kind of talking to you. We're calling them FaceTime videos. At least that's what I've heard them called. And obviously that's what they are because here's my face in the video and we're just talking. So that's one of the formats that I'm definitely going to use. Um, the other format is kind of tutorial style, which you might see a snippet of a little later. I learned today, I'm so excited, how to share my screen. So I'm going to share my screen when we go over kind of the goals for the year and the objectives of YouTube and all that kind of jazz. I'm also going to do a lot more conversational style. So I'm hoping we really do actually build some type of connection or community where you guys leave comments or we maybe have some type of, I don't know, ability to chat with one another. I don't know if YouTube has it set up yet where you guys can leave me video for feed like video comments or if there's a way we can actually do live and we can communicate with each other. But I'd like to be able to have more conversation about things or talk about things. Like if you have questions, if I have questions, if you have solutions, if I have solutions, I want to kind of go through that stuff and have more of a conversational style. I don't know if there's a lot of people doing that because I don't actually watch a lot of live videos on YouTube. On Instagram, I did, but this is a different platform than Instagram. So I guess we'll have to see how that goes. And also storytelling. Not a lot of storytelling because I don't have a lot of stories. I do have a lot of stories to tell, but not. I don't think in this appropriate for this platform necessarily, but maybe some storytelling. It definitely storytelling from a perspective of giving my opinion. Maybe something like that. Um, so I'm not really big on vlogging. It just requires way too much, excuse me, time, meaning constant recording of everything you do. And I think it's easy for some people because you literally are just recording your day and then pulling out whatever information you feel like is relevant for that particular content for the day or that week or that month and sharing it. And that's not kind of the direction I want to go in. But there will be occasional vlogging, I would imagine, like in B-roll or something that happened in my family that I thought was funny, or something like that. So some occasional vlogging, but my intention is definitely not to be a actual vlogger. That requires a lot of work. So sorry, I don't know what's going on in my throat today, but I just had a whole glass of water, so I don't want to get another glass of water. But I do want to talk about my personal reason for documenting this journey. And there's a few. The first reason is I definitely need to start holding myself a lot more accountable. So I've done several different ventures and gotten into several different things business wise, friendship wise, in my family, like just different areas of my life. And I would take accountability. But if I don't meet a deadline that I set for myself these days, in the last like 2 years, I don't, I give myself way too much grace. And ain't nothing wrong with grace, but too much means you ain't getting stuff done. So I really want to utilize YouTube to kind of force me to be accountable. Like if I come on here and say, this is what I did, this is what we're doing, this is what's going on, then it has to be that I've actually done it, because I don't want to be known as a liar. So this is forcing me to do what I'm intending to do. It is not forcing me to say that I'm going to accomplish something, a goal, a thing, but it is saying I'm going to take the steps, I'm going to take the action, I'm going to do the thing that I really, really need to do or want to do. I ain't gonna hold you. I want to see if I could be a really good YouTuber. I want to know if I'm capable of it. And there are people that have said, like, you're captivating. Captivating. I don't know if that's true, but I'd like to see if I have something worthy of being useful, being service, being entertaining, being somebody who is a benefit to your life, being somebody that came on here and said something or did something or created a dialogue or taught a lesson or showed a different technique or did something that helped you to get to the same kind of destination and goals that I kind of have for myself. And that if we all are having these great lives, like it's going to be a phenomenal world. I don't know if that's realistic, but that's my goal. I definitely want to streamline the areas in my life. So I mentioned a few minutes ago that I have a lot of areas in my life that I'm always doing things in. And I am constantly busy, and that is very much by design. I think in my 30s, maybe in my 30s, I remember feeling like, oh, I don't have enough time in my day. I need more time. If I just had another 2 hours, I would be able to get that done. My mom was like, if you had more time in your day, you would fill it with more things to do. And I stopped and realized that she was absolutely right. So the reality is, I don't need more time in my day. I need to streamline my time and I need to be more efficient with my day. So, as it is right now, you got 24 hours. I'm gonna say 6 to 8 hours of sleep to have healthy, nourished body. If you have a full-time job like I currently do, you're giving at least 8 to 10 hours at your job. I'm in management. If you're in management, it's not always, but sometimes more than 8 hours a day. And if you're a mommy, a new wife, if you try to have any type of socialization at all, even if it's once a month, that 24 hours runs short real quick. And so sacrifices must be made and have been made. And in order to maintain some sense of balance, there has to be an area where you say, I'm going to focus on this thing while still living my life and doing the things that I've been doing. And I'm going to make this thing great, or at least good enough to start to run and flourish a little bit without so much of my input. And then I'm going to start on this other thing, or I'm going to develop this other thing, I'm going to relaunch this other thing. I'm going to do this thing while this is running and doesn't require as much of my attention. I'm going to now split my attention a little bit and give it to something else. It does not mean that I'm going to be a master at anything, because it's the opposite of that. You need to spend all of your attention on one thing to be a master. But it does mean that the current things that I have going on, the goals that I've had in my life in the past, the things that were my long-term goals can actually be accomplished. And even if I don't achieve everything I want, I can at least get to a point where, first of all, I'm showing my family, my daughter, my extended family, my aunts, my cousins, what is actually possible, being a realistic, real person that they know that accomplished certain things in life and bootstrapped it and worked hard and did it. And they can stop saying it's too hard, it doesn't work, that's not the thing. Or maybe having the same effect on somebody I maybe don't even ever know, but wakes up and says, let me move a little differently. And I think having real life examples is like imperative to any type of success at all. And I'm not just talking about financial or career, success in your personal life, success in your relationships, success in your romance, success in your studies, success in anything requires, first of all, belief that you can do it. And it really helps if you've seen somebody else do it because you know it's possible. So there's that part. The streamlining is also going to help me get back to being structured. I was pretty structured with my days when I worked full time for myself. I definitely had a lot more discipline. I used to wake up in the mornings. Now, remember at this time, well, not remember, you didn't know me then, but back at this time, I was a single mom. I did live with my family, meaning my mom and dad, stepdad, and my daughter. And because I was single, 80% of the parenting was on me. And I'm saying 80% because family always chips in and helps out, friends, other parents, you know, so you do get some help in different areas. But I got up early in the morning because she had to get on the bus and I had to get her up and had to get her dressed. Now at that time she had to get on the bus until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I would get up at 5:30 and have at least 1 to 2 hours of me time. That was amazing. And I never used to wake up that early. And I definitely didn't realize the benefits for me of waking up that early and how much more I got done in a day before 11 a.m. Before 11 a.m., I would get stuff checked off my list that would have normally taken me a week or days because I'm sidetracked and I got distractions and I got, oh, I'll come back to it. And next thing you know, days have passed and I haven't done the thing that probably could have took me 20 minutes to do. So I would like to get back to having that structure and that discipline. It also helped me with my morning routines and my physical, mental, and spiritual health. It was beautiful. I used to meditate every day. I used to work out every day, even if it was just stretching. And I used to read every day. Again, even if it was just a few pages for like 5 minutes. And I used to journal, like gratitude journal, which I still do verbally, but writing it down is also amazing and it has a great effect. So I used to do all these things regularly. And I used to write out my agenda for the day, which also helped me to stay more structured. So I need to get back into all those things. With that being said, I'm hoping that YouTube will help me regain my life confidence. One thing that I've heard said in different ways, it's like, you're not depressed, you're broke. You're not depressed, you didn't accomplish any goals. You're not depressed, you haven't done anything of value. You understand? So when you do things and accomplish something or do things well, or you are able to give accolades or receive accolades, there's something about your self-esteem that's an automatic boost, but not just the self-esteem about your vanity, like, I'm sorry, not in a vain way, in a way that fills you with joy. It's like a happy space. And you physically can't be actually happy and actually sad at the exact same moment. You can think you are, but it's very difficult. Okay. You might be experiencing something sad, but if you're laughing about something at that second, your laughter is what you're experiencing. So being able to regain my self-confidence and not my self-confidence, my life confidence, being able to feel good about my life and what I am doing and what I am accomplishing is super important to me. And being able to start something and do well at it is always a win for me. And it always encourages me and motivates me to want to do more. And then I'm like, you could do it. You can do it. So I want to be that girl again. So the channel is called Journey to Luxury. And I knew that was the idea and concept from the very beginning, but I didn't know if it translated into what I actually meant. And so for me personally, luxury means financial freedom. That is probably the most common terminology for anybody who hears the word luxury. It means you can buy whatever you want. And luxury usually means high end, expensive, quality. It means it's a vibe, it's a feeling, it's getting your door open for you every time you go somewhere, you know, having a service for every aspect of your life, cleaning service, a butler, a concierge, a driver. Luxury is like being able to do things that you want to do and not necessarily have to do, you know, like cleaning the toilet. Like, I don't love doing that. Okay. But it also means being healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. It means being in loving, nurturing relationships. And by the way, that does not mean perfect relationships. It means having connections with people that matter. It means you're connected to your spouse, you're connected to your friends, you're connected to your children. And even when there's days where you don't get along, you don't like each other, you don't talk, there's still a strong bond there. That to me is luxury. Having family functions, learning and developing from each other. That is super luxury to me. Sometimes just sitting in the same room with with the kids and my spouse and my, you know, family members for the holidays, it fills me with joy. That is luxury you cannot buy. Well, you can spend a little money on it because having family over is going to cost you. Okay. It also means spiritual wealth. It means a joy-filled career or income earning ability. Um, it's just different levels to luxury for me. So my journey to luxury is not something that I'm necessarily sure I'm going to see in my lifetime, but it is something that I am going to be constantly striving towards. And so this year, I did set some tangible goals, which I'll talk to in a second, but talk to you about in a second. Does that make more sense? But I do want to know what luxury means to you. And if it's just money, then just say luxury just means having money. Luxury just means I could do whatever I want, whenever I want, and go wherever I want. I don't report to anybody and I have a great life. Luxury means fancy. It means I stay in Emirates first class. That's luxury to me. Luxury to me means I only wear high end, so high end that you don't even know the name of the brand. That's luxury to me. Whatever luxury is to you, luxury is being happily married, like really happy in my marriage. That's luxury to you. I want to hear about that. I want to know what you think is luxury. Please make sure to put your name in your comment. If it's not, you know, a lot of people have different names for their tags or whatever you want to call it. If it's not your name, or even if it is, like, I just want to introduce, hear who you are. My name is Lael. It's just like Gail with an L because people always mix it up. It's Lael. And I want to hear you, your name. I want to hear what you think is luxury. I want to hear a little bit about if you have a short snippet, something you could put about your journey so far or where you're at. And maybe in another video, we'll talk about our goals. But I kind of want to see, are we on the same page? Is there something I can help you with that I already know, or something you can help me with that I may be trying to accomplish that you're also trying to accomplish, and we can do it together. Um, so one of the things that we need to make sure we understand is how to get there. And here's the thing about having a goal, being starting here and having a goal. Okay. It kind of doesn't matter the in-between parts. The journey actually doesn't really matter because things are going to unravel and twist and turn, and you're going to pivot and you're going to say, oh, that's not working. Let me do this. That's not really so important. But in my experience, having a plan definitely helps to get from here to here to here. Sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold each other accountable. So me coming on this video is holding myself accountable, you dialoguing with me, and we use different videos to kind of connect with each other, DM each other. Maybe we do some type of private thing. It will be super cheap, trust me, where we have like private meetings and we talk and we have personal conversation, no judgment. I don't do judgment zones. If you're judgy, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you you're being judgy, but we don't want judgment. And or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If it's warranted and you guys feel like it's a great idea, at some point we'll do like a private thing and we'll have real conversations and we'll get deep and personal and tell our business like we probably shouldn't, but it's always helpful when somebody else can. It's like group therapy type of stuff. You know what I mean? So we're going to hold each other accountable and we could start in the comments. If you leave your name and one goal that you have or in whatever videos I'm doing, if it touches you and you say, you know what, this is something that I want to get better at, then I'm going to make note of it. And if I get up to 100 people, if I get more than that, I would be, what a blessing. But if I get up to 100 people that have goals they want to accomplish, I'm going to be dialoguing with you as much as I can. I'm going to be DMing you, emailing you, texting you, whatever way we decide to communicate to check in, or I might just check in with you on a video and say, hey, pop, 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 how you doing? I know you said you had the goal to do such and such. Leave a comment if you've had any success this week, or send me a DM if you have any issues you want to try to resolve. I might do that. I don't know. I'm just saying you got to leave a comment or name or something for me to even start with that. But I think one of the best ways we can all accomplish our goals is to hold each other accountable. Having an accountability partner is life, honey. It gives everything. You can do it by yourself. It's just so much more fun when you have somebody saying, congratulations, you did that this week. Go get yourself some Starbucks. Okay. We're going to start setting some and accomplishing some goals. So, by the way, I'm going to quickly show you my goals. And if you think or want me to do a video on goals, let me know. It's a very detailed process. It's not just saying, you know, people do the annual goal thing and they're like, oh, I'm going to do, I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year. Okay. And then you just get started on the process. For me, setting goals, I actually started the year before. I usually try to have it done by October. By the end of October is always my goal every year because it takes me a couple of weeks to actually really get into it. So usually by the time I get to August, the year is basically over for me. I've already mentally started on the next year. And that includes like several levels of breaking down your goals and not just one goal, but all aspects of your life, which can be a little bit much sometimes. It can be. So what we're going to do is share my screen. Okay, let's share it. And there we go. I don't want that. Okay. So we're sharing my screen, and what we're going to talk about is my goals for 2025. We're not going to go into the whole big deep dive into my goals. That'll be like literally a whole nother topic. But I do want to kind of zip through these in a second. I do also want to say that when we set goals, it's really important and the most successful if you have a realistic reward system. I've had some reward systems that weren't really realistic for me because I didn't actually do the things I said I was going to do for myself. So I didn't actually reward myself. I had a cleaning business. Matter of fact, I said if I get any business that earns me at least $10,000 a month, that I am going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag as a gift. That was my reward that I had set for myself many years ago. I had a business that had earned 10,000 or more than 10, earned up to $13,000 a month, and I never bought myself the Louis Vuitton bag, never. And now I don't have the business anymore, and I'm really like, you said, you know what I mean? So probably something a little more realistic might have been, and I could still buy the Louis Vuitton bag as a goal, but saying I'm going to earn $10,000 a month for 1 year and then I'm going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, or for 6 months and then I'm going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag, or I'm going to treat myself to a spa day when I earn $10,000 a month. That could have been a goal that I would have felt comfortable doing. spending a couple thousand on a Louis bag, it just felt like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. So making realistic goals, that is really something great to do. That. So let's talk really quickly about my goals for the year. I want to multiply everything that I receive that is good by 10, have a stronger spiritual life and relationship with God, which is basically every year, build financial wealth for myself, my husband, and my children, which include his children, also every year, contribute to society in a positive way, also every year, and give and receive love. Also every year. These are always my goals. So I created this online. I used to do it on paper. I still love doing it on paper because I have like photocopies of different things. But this is what I'm calling my rim of life. So it basically breaks down the 8 areas that I always focus on every year. And it gives a number every year. So, like, you can expect that. I think you probably heard the saying, you can have everything you want, just not all at the same time. And that is, in my experience, true. As we mentioned, you've only got 24 hours in a day. You've only one person. You cannot be everywhere at all times. There's so many reasons why that may be the thing. But every year, then I reevaluate where I'm at in one particular area. And then I check and see, have I improved in this area from last year, or have I just disintegrated? Have I diminished? Have I gone down? In that area, do I need to reconnect with it? So we talked about my spiritual journey as being one thing that I haven't really done in the last couple of years consistently. So I want to get back into that. So how my rim of life is looking right now is that, let me see, the top thing, the biggest thing on this chart here is finance. So I have financial goals every year, and the last couple of years I have not hit those goals. And so this year I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to not only get to those goals, but break them, because I think they're holding me back, because my focus is always on money and it doesn't allow me to focus on the other things. So if I can get the money out of the way, and then distribute the money appropriately, I think it'll help me with focus in some of these other areas. So that's a big area of my life that has lack. As I said, I'm not where I need to be or want to be at financially. I have things that I want to do, but I haven't accomplished them yet. And so it's really important for me to break this barrier. The next thing for me is my personal growth and my, oh no, that's not the next thing. Health and social life or relationships is the next thing that is extremely lacking. No, it's not. I was right. What am I saying? I was looking at this wrong. So if you see next to the word finance, it says 3. That is where I rated myself on the scale of 1 to 10. So I rated myself at a 3 for finance. And therefore, gave myself 35% of the 100% of my life as that being the focus. And as you see, it clearly is the most important thing this year. The next thing is I gave myself a 5 out of 10 for personal growth and entrepreneurship and career. And I'll tell you why for this in a second. Personal growth is kind of easy because we already talked about it. I am just not done the things that I was doing. I was super connected. I mean, to God, to my spiritual journey. I was super accepting of life. Like, it took a lot to push me into a negative space. And I remember somebody saying to me, actually, like, everything ain't positive. And I'm like, it is. So I need to get back there. I loved being there. I really enjoyed my life there. Everything just felt like I was in the flow with the universe, and bad things did happen. I'm not saying they didn't, they definitely did, but it felt like, nope, this is supposed to happen this way. I don't like it. I don't accept it. No, I did accept it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But obviously this is going to get me to whatever the next thing is. So let me just go through the process and get over this little hump or whatever it is. So spirituality and personal growth is a really big deal for me. So I am definitely going to give that some more attention this year. And entrepreneurship, career. I loved working for myself. It was the most fulfilled I have ever felt. It was, however, in a business I did not like. I could not stand, actually, but I did a really good job at it. But I was like, I don't want to invest my time that I can't get back into something that I don't actually even enjoy, and then look back on my life and say I should have did something different. I could have took the same energy, the same knowledge, and did that on something I actually was good at. Because here's the thing: everybody has a purpose, and whatever your purpose is the thing you're supposed to do and do it great. And I'm not saying your purpose has to be some life altering thing. It could literally be you being a janitor and being the best daggone janitor ever. Like, honestly, I've hired cleaning ladies that I tried to promote and they were like, I really just like cleaning. And so finding something that you enjoy and then sharing it with the world is like goals for most people. But finding something you enjoy and that you're actually good at is where you should be. That's the zone you should be in. And I think that's the part that I just wanted to know if I could do the business, because I just kept having all these failures. And I did, and I was super proud of myself. So once I got to a certain point, I was like, this isn't even what I want to do. So I'm now in the space where I ended up going back to work, and that was also not the goal. We'll talk about it another day. But I am working full time, and I'm not earning the money that I feel like I deserve or I should be making, and I'm definitely not completely fulfilled in that area, because it's not actually what I want to do with my life. It is something that I enjoy doing. I do like my job a lot, but not really happy in that area. So there's that. We're gonna zip through the rest because they're really not as bad. Health and social life and relationships are next. Health for me, really, I'm not in horrible shape. I would like to, I love being thicker. I'm not gonna hold you. I ain't against surgery. Like, I don't have a problem with a good BBL. I have a great body. I love my body. I've always loved my body. It has gone through some changes. I ain't gonna hold you. It has gone through some changes. And I have not been all the way accepting of the changes. And so I want to get to a space where I love my body and just work on maintaining what it is. And right now, I'm not in that space. I'm not happy with my gut. I'm not happy with the cellulite. I um, would like to see more thickness, but also skinnier. Makes no sense. I just want to work on my body. And I want to work on my eating because I want to enjoy my foods and I want to live a long time. And I'm just discovering the more I research and read and watch videos that the key to longevity has a lot to do also with diet and exercise. So this is a really big deal for me. My social life, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not even going. This is on the bottom of my list. I'm not. It's gonna need some work next year. I'm not even gonna tell you, like, I'm trying to be out here, going out, hanging out with my friends. I did have the last three: attitude, romance, and family. So for the attitude, I had some issues at work that made me reevaluate who I was. And remember, we got to kind of reconnect this to the personal growth of spirituality. Since I got disconnected from that area of my life, my attitude definitely devolved. I don't know the words. It went down. It wasn't my best. I wasn't giving my best energy. Okay, I will admit that. And so I started cursing a little bit. I don't really like cursing. You know what I mean? I started being negative and, you know, responding every time somebody says something. And I'm like, you don't really need to do that. You know, that's not worth your time. So I just need to work on that part. And then the romance and love, I love my partner at the moment. We have been through a lot, and I just want to be better at my part. I want to learn how to love in a certain kind of way. And so I'm going to work on it. And family is a little tricky because I can zone in and do things for family, but if they don't kind of chime back in and lock back in with me, then I'm kind of left. So that's why it's not really going to be a major priority for me this year. I made it a priority last year and it kind of flopped. So this year, I'm not going to do as much to make it a big thing. But my family's always inclusive of my life and I always think about them and I love them very much. And we'll see next year if that changes. So that is my realm of life. I hope that was insightful to you. If you want to know how to make this room, we could talk about it, but I'm not an expert at it by any means. I could just show you what I did. And by the way, I fumbled and figured it out and had to try out different stuff. So, but this is like a great visual for me to kind of remind myself of what my main focus is on for the year. All right, so I'm going to scroll through really quickly. This is just me putting things in order of importance. I went through them already with you based on the pie chart, but this is my realistic, like I said, like I'm not social life and relationships. not really gonna get the attention it probably needs to get, but I'm okay with that. All right, so okay. So here we are at entrepreneurship and career. So as part of my goals, what I do is I break down each thing, and then I usually create a mantra, which I haven't done here yet. But I want to develop a 7-figure income earning brand slash business that is strong and has longevity. That is a huge thing that I never focused on. I focused on building businesses, and this is why they were disconnected and I was all over the place. So I want to kind of zone everything in and connect it. And I know already how that connection will look like. I just haven't put the dots together yet. So, and that's going to require some steps, and I do action steps, and then I do mantras so I can remind myself every day what my goal is. And the mantras will either be post-it notes on my mirror in the bathroom, but now that I live with somebody, I'm probably not going to do that. But I will put something on my phone or my computer somewhere that I can check it regularly. I want to create an engaging and high income earning social media brand. Definitely engaging because that fills my spirit, and definitely high income earning so I can quit my job and do it full time and work on my other businesses full time. That is kind of my real goal. I'm not sure the time frame for that. I'm saying my husband said he wanted to retire me in 5 years. Oh, the beginning, like almost a year ago. But there wasn't really a real strategy put in place. So I'm trying to see if I can do it myself. And so help him also to be able to retire if he chooses to do so. He may not. I don't know. So then there will be goals and things like that. For finances, just to give you my business, I am looking at earning at least $100,000 in net profit with my businesses and double my employment income. So here's the thing. I already asked for the raise because that is my first goal, my first action step here in Q1. I already had the meeting. I already did the follow-ups, and the answer was no. And it wasn't a hard no, like, you don't do a good job. It was like, we don't pay anybody that much money. And I was like, I'm not anybody. But they were like, this is how we do raises. Analytics, numbers. And so we good on your numbers. You good. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I gotta have a different strategy. So I initially was looking for another job for a minute, and I found another job that did pay what I was kind of looking for, but I didn't get the offer. And my situation where I'm at now, I'm kind of locked in a little bit. So I think God was like, this is you going to another job ain't it. Okay. You need to focus on what I told you to do, which was the thing, the business stuff, the entrepreneurship stuff, the purpose driven stuff. So I said, okay, that's fine. I don't need to get a raise, and now I'm going to just focus on the other things. I want to improve my credit score, and part of that reasoning is because it's going to help me with the financial part and the other opportunities and things that I want to venture into. So I'm not going to go into deep about that, but I definitely want to improve it by at least 100 points and get into getting some grants to help finance some of the other ventures that I've been working on or already have and just have gotten pushed to the side goal. Health, I kind of talked about it a little bit. I do want to grow my hair out. I'm kind of tired. The length is a little annoying. So that is my goal. So now I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So now that I've showed you my goals, we talked about how we're going to hold each other accountable, documenting this journey. So I'll be using YouTube, as you can see. That's pretty obvious. And I will also be more likely than not using Instagram because I'm familiar with Instagram. I love Instagram. I have not been on it in like a year, but one of my favorite platforms because it's like quick content, but also a little bit more connected content without being too personal. YouTube is more connected. I don't know if that makes a difference or it makes any sense. Anyway, and I'll probably be trying TikTok because everybody in my house does TikTok but me. So I'm trying to get into it and understand it, and maybe I will do it. We'll see because I don't want to do too much. I know I can do YouTube. I can cut these videos up and put them on Instagram. I know how to do that, or do some other like B-roll stuff and make it Instagram and make it make sense. I know how to take pictures of myself and make it make sense on Instagram. So if you are on social media and we're talking about holding each other accountable, you can also use social media for journaling, for logging your situation. You can also do this completely separately and privately. You can do a spreadsheet, or you can create your own vlogs for your own personal consumption, which I have done in the past. I have so much content. Some of it might actually get put on here because when I think about doing business content or financial content, a lot of the stuff that I've done and recorded and remembered, I'm like, wow, that was really good. You said some good stuff there. Now, at the time, I didn't realize it, but when I was going back and watching some of that stuff, so find a way. And the vlogging was really for me personally to deal with whatever I was dealing with at the time. I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to that understood the process, understood what I was going through. So we talked about my current goals for the year. If you haven't already set real goals for yourself, and I know we're already in March going into April, I could start my year whenever I want. Now I know I'm gonna be doing it over again in October, but right now I just wanted to show you like this is how I'm getting focused. I did already start some stuff in the first quarter. If you haven't, it don't matter. Start now. Sit down. You don't have to do a whole deep dive like I do this year. We're kind of already past that, but definitely deep. Definitely sit down and dig deep into at least 3 or 4 goals in your life, different areas of your life that are really important to you, that you really want to focus on this year, and that are things that you thought about and you just haven't done anything about. And just write them down. And let's get started with holding each other accountable and getting some stuff done this year. Let's get some accomplishments, some goals checked off. And so now that we've done all that, we basically got a chance to kind of get to know each other a little bit. Hi, my name is Leo. We are hopefully going to become accountability partners, which I'm very excited about if you're willing to go on this journey with me. I don't care if it's only one person. Honestly, when I had the other YouTube videos out and people were actually making comments, I was like, oh, I was making comments back. Like I felt like I was connected to some of those people. And I wonder if they're still on my channel because I still have the same 92 followers. So if you out there and you see my video, hey, I miss you. Let's make sure we're documenting our journey. So I'll be doing my documentation here, and it won't always be you following me around and seeing what I'm doing. It may just be me telling you what's going on. If I can share some stuff on screen, I will share some stuff on screen. If I can just put some stuff in the description to tell you that go to this book, get this thing, or whatever I'm doing, I will do that. We're going to check in periodically. So no matter how many videos I put out here, I want to just do a real check-in at least once a quarter. If we can do it once a month, that would be amazing. But we're just talking, and again, we'll figure that out, whether it be in the comments or DMs or finding a private platform where we could talk live. We're doing lives on YouTube, which I don't know how to do. And remember, I've never seen them, so I have to do some research. But I want to make sure that we are doing stuff to fulfill our lives and get to the life. And people are saying it's I've seen a lot of videos saying like getting to my dream life. I quit my job to do my dream life. Maybe it's in the same mindset, right? Similar mindset. So you can call it whatever you want. For me, it's a life of luxury. It's always been that, probably since I was in my 20s. I didn't use the word dream life, but dream life sounds just as nice. If that's what you're doing, like I want to do it with you. We're going to figure this out and we're going to help each other get to at least accomplishing 1 to 10 goals this year. Okay. And we're going to work on our goals daily and we're going to report back. And we're going to say, this is what I did, even if it's for just 30 minutes. If you can take 30 minutes a day, I made a commitment to do 3 hours a day, 5 days a week on my business, period. Video content, editing content, travel business, which I have a client right now. And I need to do some other things. And we also have other stuff. We have a lot going on. I'm going to work on something in my businesses every day for at least 3 hours a day. It's a committed time frame. It's been an adjustment. I haven't quite clocked in on it every day, but I'm getting better. And my family is starting to get on board and say, oh, okay, she got to go. She's going to take some time to, that's a little bit of an adjustment because I need you to also do the same thing. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hey, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that you made it to this part of the video. I'm so excited, and hopefully that I will definitely see you again soon. And I'm super amped up about the rest of this year. And I don't know what it's going to look like at the end. I just know that every day I'm going to take one step forward, just like you. Talk to you later.